Welcome to another edition of the Empower Hour. I am Aoife.
And I am Hanifa.
And this is Nagasi. And we are here on the Empower Hour. We come to you with impactful topics of discussion that affect our everyday lives. Today will be no different. In the studio, we have with us a special guest here for the first time.
Yes.
Baba
Babalawo.
Oguntola.
Bakojo Oguntola.
Oguntola. I have to work on that. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And you're going to be talking to us about Aoife meditation. Yes, I'm excited about that. And so we always have discussions whenever you're coming through, and they're always insightful. Insightful, always. I always learn something from you. So I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. And so I thought it would be a great idea to share some of that insightfulness with our audience members. So Aoife meditation, what is that for those who may not be aware?
Well, Aoife and meditation, they don't normally go hand in hand.
Okay.
Aoife in itself, I would say there's no direct translation for Aoife. It comes from West Africa. You find the people in Nigeria, in Benin, where it's called Afa, that practice this wisdom culture.
Okay.
Aoife is a philosophy. It's a way of dealing with the mysterious world around us, looking into the seen and unseen world. It's a way of viewing life as a culture. Now, meditation is meditation. It's the practice of pure awareness. Aoife meditation is bringing that pure awareness into the mysterious realm.
Okay.
Aoife meditation.
I love it. Okay. So, a little bit about you. How did you get started down this realm?
Interesting enough, my enlightener when I was 12 years old, a brother named Great Mind. He was an alchemist, a metaphysician. I was raised in New York, Mount Vernon, and
Money earning,
Mount Vernon. That's right. Big up. And New York was a mecca at that time for knowledge. You can go to 125th Street, and on the corners there was books. On the ground, it was just a mecca for knowledge in the 80s. And I learned about, I had asthma. I developed asthma at around 13 years old, and my enlightener told me to meditate. He said, breathe. He reminded me that I was in control of my body, and my body wasn't in control of me. And he gave me a tip. Breathe, deep breathe. Breathe deeply, slowly, count it, he said. Well, it began to help. So I did some personal investigations into this breathing and meditation, and I ran into the Maharishi. The Maharishi is a guy from India who started Transcendental Meditation. And in the 80s, he was sort of just really pushing it. He had received some fame from the Beatles and what was that other group? The Rolling Stones. They were into him, and they went to his ashram, and it was in the news and stuff like that. So the Maharishi became a focal point for me. So I began to study him. I learned his philosophy, which took me into this Eastern wisdom culture from Hindu, African. So I wasn't too settled with the whole Hindu vibration.
Okay.
But the knowledge was sound, and I learned a lot about meditation. So through the years, I applied those skills that I've learned and expounded on them in different arenas of meditation. So I guess I started meditating at around 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, around 14. And it completely cured my asthma.
Really?
Yes, by the time I was 15, 16, no more asthma.
Without a single medication?
Without any medication. No inhalers. I had inhalers at first. I started deep breathing, and then I started jogging. And the Maharishi talked about a walking meditation. Being able to move this transcendental meditation into your daily life. To be able to walk down the street and still meditate. So I was into boxing, Golden Gloves, and I didn't want to stop. So I began training and meditating, deep breathing, jogging with the pole, deep breathing until asthma no more.
Wow. Well, asthma, of course, we just described as one. What are some of the other benefits to meditating?
Wow. For people, for an individual, the benefits are micro and macro. Health-wise, health benefits. We, the African community, suffer from disease that's constrictive. When we look at hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol levels, things of that nature that afflicts us, those are constrictive diseases. Not only from our habits, our eating habits, but from our way of thinking, the way we look at ourselves in this oppressive society.
Yes.
Meditation helps us to loosen up, to regain a fluidity in life, to allow our bodies to breathe. Deep breathing is oxygenated energy, bringing that oxygen into our bodies deliberately and consciously and effortlessly. It allows our body to reflect that, that effortless living, from the inside out.
Now, when you mentioned constricting, can you elaborate a little bit on that? What do you mean when you say our bodies are constricted from all of these diseases and things?
Right. It's the constriction comes from our way of thinking. It's a mental thing for us. Every black person can identify with blue lights. If you're riding down the road, you're doing the speed limit, and you see blue lights, the first thing you do is
tension. Stop breathing.
You constrict. Constriction. We live in a society where we have to pay bills monthly.
Yep.
Okay? Not all societies are like that, but we live in one where they put us on a demand for monthly rent, monthly food, monthly water, month to month we live. We live from hand to mouth.
With threats.
The insecurity of being able to provide for your family, for your children, constrictive. Okay?
Got it.
The competition, competing in this economic arena, where we have a 400-year disadvantage, mentally, socially, psychologically, we have this disadvantage that we deal with, and we compensate. We're compensating. Living our best lives, right? We're doing that's a compensation because we're not living our best lives. We're just getting by. But we're fooling ourselves. We're putting this thing on and say, but I'm okay. I'm okay, right? And that's creating a mental imbalance, constrictive. Okay? Meditation helps to open that up. Now, all of those all those things that I described, they contribute to our health. Right. It's mental, but everything that's mental descends into the physical. It starts spiritual, it goes mental, and descends into the physical. So our bodies, we catch it. Meditation goes the opposite way. It starts physical, then mental, and then spiritual. So it's a reversal of a process that we're living in.
Interesting stuff.
You just mentioned when we are living one way and we are telling ourselves something completely different from what our reality is, that it creates a mental imbalance. But I mean, how is that creating a mental imbalance? Because you hear a lot of people talk about speaking positive, even though that's not your reality, and somehow until you get there. So tell me, if we can expound on that a little bit, how does that create an imbalance?
Okay, that sort of reminds me of some years back, there was a book that came out, it was called The Secret. Right?
Okay, yes.
And this secret that they had was attract to you by speaking it, bring it to you, right? I had a problem with this secret because it talked about a universal law, the law of nature, right? The law of attraction.
Yes.
And the law of attraction is very valid, but it's singular. And nothing in this universe operates in a singularity. We are all connected one way or another. Okay. So one law is connected to other laws.
Yes.
You dig what I'm saying?
I do.
The laws of cause and effect. You just can't speak it into existence. There's some other changes that has to occur as well for it to come towards you. Now, in meditation, I'm operating, I wrote a book. I don't think I've mentioned this, but I wrote a book in 2004 called The No Self Now Meditation, Cultivation, Solution. All right. Now, No Self Now, or KISSN, KSN, it's a 5-fold procedure. It starts with concentration, and then it goes into relaxation, and then it goes into composure, and then it goes into natural self-reflection, and then it goes into visualization. You're walking a step or a staircase of universal laws to bring something to you. So you're resolving some issues, clearing some things up, destroying some things within yourself that prevents your growth and development, so that you can bring in through visualization that secret. You can attract something to you, but you can't attract to you wealth if your diet is terrible. If our colons and our stomachs is all in an uproar and it's projecting out poison, but you're speaking one thing, you have a contradiction going on. It's working. You're working against your own nature.
Of course.
If you're in 1 minute you're attracting, you're speaking that life into you, and then as soon as your guard is down and you lash out on your mate, or you lash out on your child, or you have road rage on the highway, you just took that from you. You might have wanted to attract it, but your actions, the cause and effect, we have to be accountable for our entire life, not for that moment of joy when we're feeling good about ourselves and we want to speak it into existence. See, that's what meditation comes in. See, I always recommend people to meditate twice a day and try to go at least in half an hour. Half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. In the morning, you can reflect on your dreams. If you do it when you wake up and you're still fresh, you can see that other realm. At night, you can reflect on your day. And you can see where you went wrong, where you had your problem, where did you lose your composure. You dig what I'm saying?
Is this reflecting during meditation, you're saying?
Yeah.
So that goes into another question I have about the difference between Ifa meditation and like in this culture, the meditation. So because what I've always been taught was
silent the mind.
Right. Right. So I shouldn't be thinking of anything during this period.
That's a step.
Okay.
See, the first step is called concentration. When you concentrate, you're literally focusing on your breath.
Yes.
You're breathing. And I teach a few different techniques: alternative breathing, deep breathing, just breathing techniques. You're not thinking about anything, you're just breathing. You're following your breath. In the relaxation aspect of it, it's a progressive muscle relaxation. You're thinking because you're consciously and committing yourself to relaxing every part of your body. And you're tuning in to your entire body and you're commanding it to relax, to release the tension. It's a progressive muscle relaxation. So in these two aspects, the mind isn't silent yet. It's not until you get to the third component, which is we call ifarabale, or composure. Composure is where you begin to become aware of your thoughts, of your feelings and your senses, where you compose the uncontrollable mind. Okay? Through breathing and progressive relaxation, it helps. It helps to control the mind. But what you're controlling is your response to the mind, because you can't control your mind. You can't tell your mind, shut up. It's not going to listen. It's going to keep moving whether you want it to or not. So the only thing you can do is adjust how you deal with it. So we teach to have a non-judgmental, impartial outlook on what you're citing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. Don't qualify it with a response. Allow it to just move.
So that goes a totally opposite of the constriction you just got finished describing. So instead of being tense and holding on to all that stuff,
let it be.
You let it flow right on through you.
That's composure. You compose yourself by allowing your day or whatever to flow through.
Yeah.
If the mind feels a need to put attention on that, of all the things that the mind can put attention on,
right,
give it its space.
Is there a difference in, because you hear a lot in the society we live in, because it's dominantly Christian, Muslim, you hear a lot about prayer. What is the difference? Is there a difference between prayer and meditation? And if there is, what exactly is it?
You know, I believe prayer is different for different people.
Okay.
People see it differently. It's one of those terms that, depending on your line, your religion, your spirituality, it means different things to different people.
But could it be meditation? Could it be a form of meditation?
From my knowledge, prayer is a request for something. You're asking for something. You're praying for something. You want something in return. Versus meditation, you want nothing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like in Ifa we give, some people call it compulsory prayers, right? Drive by a river, Iba She Oshun, go over a train track, Iba Ogun, I salute the Orisha Ogun, I salute the Orisha Oshun. If I'm at the ocean, if I see thunder and lightning, Kawo Kabi Si Shango, Iba Oya, it's compulsory prayer. But we're not asking for anything. We're just acknowledging a phenomena, a force of nature that we have no control over. That was here when we got here and will be here once we leave. It's compulsory, but there's no demand from them at that point. We're just acknowledging. So is that, that's different. That's not asking something for it. You know, we make atonements and appeasements in Ifa to these spirits, and we're asking them for things at that point to bring relief, to assist in something. But then that's not just a prayer. This is, I will do this for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most of the time, and in meditation, in the No Self Now meditation, we have in an Odu, Owarin Ogunda, it talks about Isheshe, or the primordial ones. And this particular Odu tells us that not all the time, or not everything needs to be taken to the Orisha. Some things you have to take to your ancestors and to your Ori. You might need to adjust your character in order to get what you seek. It's not for the Orishas to bring it to you, but for you to figure out what's in me that's preventing me from getting that. And that's where the meditation comes in, with Ifa meditation. It allows you an opportunity to see, what am I doing that's preventing my progress, that's preventing my joy, that's preventing my happiness, that's preventing my wealth.
And it all goes back to the self.
It always does.
That's exactly what I was going to, I think you answered it, because I was just going to ask, what part do the Orishas play in Ifa meditation? But I feel like you just answered that question.
Yes. And it's not a direct thing.
Right.
There's an indirect correlation with particular Orishas that deal with meditation. Now, I don't know, are you familiar with the Orisha Ogun?
Yes.
Ogun is we are one of the few spiritual systems that worship war. Those of us that worship Ogun literally worship war. I'm an Ogun priest as well as a Babalawo. But Ogun is not just about war. See, Ogun is over meditation. My particular road of Ogun is Chidiviki. Chidiviki is the Ogun that brought forth the 21 implements. He created tools that mankind would need before man knew he needed the tools. You dig what I'm saying? So this Orisha had to have foresight.
Vision.
Vision.
Yeah.
And imagination. He activated his imagination. That's the visualization aspect of meditation.
Got it.
You dig?
Yes, I do.
To create, to imagine, to create the life that you want.
Yeah.
You don't know what it looks like because you're living one way, but you want something else.
Yes.
All you know is it's called joy. All that you know is that it's labeled happiness. But what does happiness look like to you? What does joy look like to you? I'm sure it's not the same vision.
Got it.
So you have your vision, I have my vision of joy.
Right.
So I have to go into a meditation so that I can see. I have to clear myself out first. I have to leave behind what I thought joy was, because I'm obviously not experiencing it because I'm looking for it.
Right.
And then I have to imagine and visualize what that looked like and play a few scenarios out.
Yeah.
You know, what does joy look like with my daughters? I have to imagine it. If not, we might live generational curses. If you had a parent that had a quick hand, you might have a quick hand.
Just got finished having that discussion last week.
You might have one because you had a parent that taught you that.
Yes.
So you have to visualize what life is without that quick hand. And what does it look like for you?
Right.
And sometimes we have to do that in the evening after we've created these offenses that prevent us from attracting what we want. You know what I'm saying? Because that quick hand or that quick tongue, those generational curses that we inherit from our ancestors and our parents that we have to correct, that prevents us from attracting, we make those adjustments by seeing what other way can I have done that?
Right.
How else could I have resolved that within myself? And literally see yourself doing it in a meditation. And I always say, figure out 2 or 3 different ways that you could have handled that. And visualize yourself doing it so that when you're in that experience again, you have some tools.
Got options.
That's right.
I love it. That makes so much sense. It makes common sense. It's like when you break it down, it's like, it just makes sense.
That's it.
You know, and the fact that we're not doing that, it makes sense why we don't get the results that we want.
Right. We
It's
can't
interesting.
apply one law to a universe that's operating on multiple levels and with multiple laws. So we have to take as many of those laws as we possibly can grab and hold on to and operate with those. Not just speaking it.
Right.
Right. Not just
But
speaking it. I've always had a problem with that secret because it was singular.
Right.
And it was upsetting to me because it gave false hope.
Yeah.
Well, let me dig a little bit into the singular thing, because I always come up with this thought in my mind. Like when I hear things like, just meditate, just do these things that's going to help the individual. What if you're in an environment, a war-torn environment, and you're doing all these tools and making all these changes in your own world, and they're working, but then boom, here's a bomb coming from the sky, from all the way from another country, bombing. So how, you know what I'm saying? How is this helping the overall society? If that makes any sense.
I'm trying to conceptualize the question in that.
Okay.
Okay, I get what you're saying. A person can be doing their thing, putting in their work.
Right.
But then that's their individual karma that they're working on.
Right.
Versus national karma.
Right.
Or communal karma. You know, Frantz Fanon said there's 3 questions that we must ask ourselves. Who am I? Am I who I say I am? And am I all that I ought to be? Okay, those are the 3 questions that we must ask ourselves. Who am I? Now, if I'm in this war-torn country, I'm doing my work, and my Ori, my inner god or goddess, doesn't tell me, get out of here, man. This is a war-torn country. You dig? I fight with this every day. I literally picked myself up maybe 11, 12 years ago, and I moved out of America. I was gone.
Where'd you go?
I went to West Africa. I went to Europe. I went to Cuba. I was traveling trying to find a home where I felt at home.
Outside of America.
Outside of this, because it's war-torn
Right.
here. You know. And as I was abroad, I realized something. I realized that even though I can pick myself up and leave this war-torn country, I'm leaving my ancestors. I'm leaving my people. Living in other countries taught me that I'm a New Yorker. You dig? I'm an American. This is where I'm from.
Part of who you are.
This is, the people here are my people. So I need to come home, and this incarnation, I came here. So I'm going to finish it here. This incarnation. and I'm going to empower and do my thing. I learn my Ifa, I become a Babalawo, I do my spiritual work. I love to work with marriages and do wedding ceremonies and do marriage counseling and things of that nature, because I believe family is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Family is the key, right?
Yeah.
So I come back so I can do these works. Now, my Ori said, leave. There's no future here. What you going to do?
After you come back?
Oh, after I came back, I didn't look for the future that I was looking for. I changed my vision of what I consider success and what I would have to do to gain that success. How far am I willing to sell me out? My principles to get the level of success that I was seeking. I wasn't willing to sell not a bit, not a penny's worth. Not to this society. To, I have a view. I have my worldview. I live amongst pillagers, rapists, and murderers. The way this country was started is what it is. We are our beginnings. You start out an acorn, you turn into an oak tree.
Good teaching.
You dig? So it is what it is. I'm living amongst the pillagers, the rapists, and the murderers. That's what's here. So you change and you adjust your frequencies to what you're dealing with. Now, I'm a freedom fighter. I'm for the oppressed man. I'm for my people. So I change my frequencies. I don't want to be a billionaire because of what I would have to do to get that.
Absolutely.
You dig what I'm saying? Not that I couldn't be one.
Right.
I don't want to be one because of what I would have to do to get to that point.
Important.
Now, to answer your question, if you're in this war-torn country and that bomb dropped, that's national karma. That's something that as a group of people, y'all should have seen that coming and prepared yourself for that. Now, another person could prevent you from seeing your national karma. Look at us here. We're starting to wake up to the fact through this administration that's in the government, we live amongst more hateful, racist people than we like to think. And they're organized.
Yes.
They're highly organized. And they don't like us, black and brown people. So what are we going to do? How do we organize ourselves against this impending danger?
Right.
You think what I'm saying? That's national karma. That's national consciousness.
Yes.
So it's a little bit different than an individual meditation.
Yeah.
But you need enough individuals meditating
Got it.
and seeing that clearer picture so that we can affect the larger group and say, hey, look, guys, we got to get a game plan so that when that bomb does drop and we're doing our meditations or our salats, if you're Muslim, whatever your thing is, while we in our spiritual place, we're not being taken advantage of because we're a spiritual people.
Right.
And that has been our history. They take advantage of us. We in church, they out robbing. That's how it be.
Yeah.
That's real.
They up in our houses. We in church worshiping God, and they gave us that God.
Right.
And they in our house taking our silverware.
Yes.
You dig? So we can't continue in that direction of being manipulated because we're a spiritual people.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I receive.
Now, Ifa meditation, because we come from all different walks of life and different experiences, different religious backgrounds. Can Ifa meditation be practiced by anyone regardless of their religion?
Agbani Regun, Orumila, Eleri Ipin, the witness of destiny. Orumila is universal. Orumila stepped foot in every continent.
Okay.
On every continent, you have a divination system. Divination is the mark of Orumila. Divination systems is everywhere. All people divine. They seek answers in the sand with tea leaves, geometry. They seek answers from outside, from the invisible world to affect the visible world. That's Ifa. Ifa is the mysterious world that we live in. Ifa is not Nigeria. It's not. It doesn't belong to a group of people. It doesn't. Ifa belongs to the planet. It's the only system that elucidates on the seen and the unseen. And I'm trying to use common words. Okay, the Orun and Aye, the seen and the unseen world, and breaks it down in such a way, as you read the Odu Ifa, it literally breaks it down in a way that no other system does. So it's not for Nigerians.
Right.
It just so happens that every nation gets their prophet.
Right.
Every nation gets a prophet, and Orunmila was the prophet of that nation and brought forth this worldly knowledge.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? But it's the way it's practiced in Nigeria is slightly different in how we practice it in Cuba. It's the same thing, but we practice it differently. And I ran into some people that's European that practice it slightly different. It's not quite Nigerian, it's not quite Lukumi. Ran into some of my Venezuelan brothers, some of my Brazilian brothers, how few there are, slightly different. So it modifies itself to the land, to the people.
Right.
The way I practice it, even though I'm a Lukumi Babalawo, I'm Cuban, born with it, I'm American, it's slightly different.
Right.
My mandate is different. What I have to tend to with my people is a little bit different. So it caters to the people that needs it. And because it's everything. There's no aspect of life that's not covered in Ifa. So as a Babalawo, it's up to me to say, okay, here I need to do this. So for me, it's been Tokotabo or male-female relationships. It's been meditation. You know, I do rituals, ceremonies, appeasements, atonements. I do those things as well. Divination, I do that as well. But it requires more than that. Because our situation is not going to get fixed through an ebo, through a sacrifice. You know, you can do as many goats, roosters, hens as you want. But if you don't look within and start changing yourself, start making the corrections that you have inherited, so that we can move forward differently than all the roosters and hens. Sejiman Adefumi, he was the king of Oyotunji African village. And he was one of my mentors coming up. And I posed the question to him, how come we can't do Ebo to fix it for black people in America? He said the Ebo would be so huge. You would need 200 of every animal on the planet.
Wow.
You dig? 200 of every animal on the planet to fix us.
Wow.
He said the alternative to that, each individual fix themselves.
Yes.
I said, okay, I think that's more feasible.
From under my chair.
Now, what? And I'm going into devil's advocate here. Now, what do you say to those who will say, "Oh, that's just spookism. It's spooky." I'm looking at you with your skulls on, and all that's just devil worship and all that stuff. I don't believe in none of that stuff.
Cool.
What would your response be to somebody like that?
To each his own.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have a respond to people.
Okay.
I respond to a person's level of evolution. I'm not going to respond to their words, because their words is just a manifestation of their level of evolution.
Oh, that's true.
So I would say to that person, to each his own, you know, go in peace. You know, how they say, be blessed. Be blessed.
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Yeah. No,
that's that releasing.
Yeah. You see, you know, no problem.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, not everything is for everybody. I can do a reading for a person, and there's Odus that tell the person that they should be Muslim.
Oh, wow.
You should practice Islam.
Wow.
Because each religion as they have it, all of that come out of Ifa. Every religion on this planet was birthed through Ifa. Okay? So maybe you need to be Rastafarian. You need that. Because these religions have certain disciplines that it instills in you. Christianity is the discipline of morality. You need a higher moral code, commandments to live by, and things of that nature. Your morality is lacking, and you need somebody to hold you accountable to your morality. You might need culture. You might need to learn discipline through culture. So you might need Islam, where you're praying 5 times a day, where you're covering yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You may need that in your life. Not to say you're going to stay there, but you might need that in this moment of your evolution to help you get to that place where you don't see a skull, but you see death. It's not a skull. It represents death. And that should not be scary. Because that's some place we all will go.
It's a part of life.
It is. It's just as natural as breathing.
That as you're talking, I'm listening like in agreement, because I have evolved into that way of thinking, because when I left the church, it was like, I think I was just pissed. And so it was more so like, that's a lie. And then as time passed and I really became settled, and it was important to me that I kind of just swam in the middle of the ocean, not trying to find land immediately, like not to go to any place, which was a good idea. But I evolved into that thinking ways. Like, I realized, even I was in the Pentecostal faith, there are people that need that. Like, it is an absolute necessity for them. I see that now. And so now I'm like, you just gotta let people, sometimes that's what you need for that season in your life.
That's right.
I was in church my whole 20s. I needed it. Because I do not know what my life would have looked like had I not been there in my whole 20s.
That's it.
And it's in retrospect that I'm able to really accept that. But I had to evolve into that way of thinking. So I totally, get that.
Evolution.
One of the questions I had was Transcendental Meditation. Now, if you could talk a little bit about that. Is that the one where you travel outside your body?
Oh, no, not so much so.
Okay.
But you could, I guess, if you were on that level.
Okay.
And Transcendental Meditation, I studied when I was younger. I've evolved past that into my own meditation, and I don't really want to speak on that because it's a trademark meditation style. And the Maharishi's people, and he's Ibaraturun, he's back in the essence now, but his people have trademarked their way of meditation.
Oh, and, wow.
It's like that. So I don't really want to speak on it because it is a trademark meditation system. I have my own way of doing it that I feel is more conducive and practical, and will get you to almost that same place. Really, it's a little bit beyond. Transcendental meditation is the meditation that Russ Simmons practiced. Russell Simmons, and he's bringing that into the schools. He's seeking to put that in the Chicago schools and things of that nature, bringing meditation into the schools. But his form of meditation is transcendental meditation, and it is a good form of meditation. It was the form of meditation that started me out. It was my beginnings of meditation. So for a person just getting into meditation, they have a lot of information online. And it's just a lot of information because the Maharishi really, he touched a lot of people. Ibaraturun, he touched a lot of people as a student of meditation. He was given that title, Maharishi, which means, I believe, glorious one or holy one or something like that. He was given that by the people. You know what I'm saying? Because of his Iwa, his character. So I take nothing from his form of meditation. In fact, when we do ancestral reverence and I'm praying to my ancestors, I always mention Maharishi. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's not part of my direct lineage, his Ashe contributed to me growing up and kept me on a particular path. I don't know where I would have been. Like, you don't know where you would have been without the church in your 20s, without meditations in my teens, growing up in New York. I don't know where I would have been.
Wow. Okay.
Who's the boss? Who's the boss?
You mentioned a little bit about going into the schools. That was one of my questions about the children. Is there is meditation, or could meditation be beneficial to children as well? Have you seen?
My daughter's meditating.
How old is she?
One will be 3, the other one will be 5.
And
so they're 2 and 4 right now, but their birthdays is in a couple of months. They're both Scorpios. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But they've been meditating. Oluwa has been meditating since she was around 1, 2. She's, when she used to spaz out, you tell her, Lou, take a deep breath. She'll another. She already knows that she has to breathe in through her nose, out through her mouth, and relax. And she'll pull herself together.
Wow.
So meditation can start as early as you can teach it.
Wow.
It literally can. And I have, my children are Ogun kids, so I haven't Obatala and Oshun, but I'm sure their father is Ogun. They're very energetic children. You know what I'm saying? So they're fiery.
Yeah, because
meditation is good for them.
Yeah, I've seen studies where they show children who meditate in school and those who don't, and they tend to have better when they're what's the word I'm looking for? like when they're fighting and all that stuff. It's less of all that in the schools.
They have a greater focus. They have more calm.
Yeah.
They can reason through difficult periods, difficult experiences better than children that don't meditate. That living in the moment thing, or when meditation become a part of their lives and they're going through an experience that can become chaotic or disruptive, the child that meditate will have a greater focus and more calm. Their reasoning faculties are still spinning because they're fluidic, they're breathing and it's flowing, versus that constrictive thing where you literally stop thinking.
Right.
You go from a high point to a very low physical fleshy place of response. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can breathe, oxygenated energy, we have in E5, we break down the body into portions. We have the Ori, the consciousness, we have the body, the Ara, we have Emi, or breath. And spirit rides through Emi. So the more you breathe, the more you imbue yourself with spirit. The more spiritual you become through breath. So the child that can breathe versus the child that can't breathe, who become body, this one is becoming more spirit.
Wow. And as I'm hearing you talk, I'm thinking about so much of how our senses are so heightened in this society, to where we're quick to anger,
hypersensitive.
We like you said, road rage. If somebody not going, the second the light turn green, we blow on them, and then the person giving them the finger in response, or it's just so much aggression. So am I hearing you say that meditation can help in those instances?
Indeed. Yeah. Indeed.
How do people get started? And if they're listening to this and I've described their personality, what would you recommend for them to
do it?
Okay.
The main thing is committing to doing it. That's the hardest thing for us to do, as a people, just to commit.
Yeah.
Say I'm going to do a half an hour in the morning. Say you're going to do a half an hour in the evening, even if you can only do 5 minutes. Even if you can only do 60 seconds, let your goal be a half an hour. Do that 60 seconds, do that 1 minute, because tomorrow it might be 2 minutes. The day after that, it's going to increase. The day after that, as long as there's consistency with your cultivation, and the name of my meditation is the No Self Now Cultivation Solution. It's because it's a solution. You have to cultivate meditation. That's not something that we know how to do offhand. We come into this world meditating. As children, we meditate. We can't do anything but meditate.
What do you describe? What do you mean?
Children breathe correctly when they come out. In through their nose, out through their mouth. They don't have to teach themselves how to breathe correctly. They do it automatically. They will relax themselves in a minute. If a child is in a car accident, the adult would die before the child, because the child will bend with the movement naturally. They just flow with things. You know what I'm saying? Because that's relaxation. They're there. The only time a child is not composed is when they either wet or hungry. And then their noise is information. They're communicating something to you. I am wet. I am hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or I need a hug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're Other than that, that child is composed. If their needs are met, they're composed. And they can't do anything but reflect. That's why they put everything in their mouth. They want to know, what's this? What's that? They're examining the world around them in relationship to themselves. They're already meditating. So we come out the womb meditating. Our habits from how we're socialized teach us how not to be in alignment.
Yeah.
So we have to bring ourselves back into an alignment with the universe. We come from the universe aligned. But as we're traveling this path, we get misaligned. In order to tune back in, we have to do things. We have to we have to cultivate the ability of alignment back into our nature. So it's something that we have to work on. Meditation didn't come easy for me. I meditate all the time. I do what I call walking meditation or driving meditation. I'm constantly in meditation. It's something that you cultivate, and it becomes a tool that you have in your arsenal to deal with life. So if a person wants to get into it, I'd say commit. Say to yourself that this is what I'm going to do. Start with just breathing, or go to my blog site, the Bakojo Meditation. I break my book down. It's not in print right now. It's been out of print for a few years, but it will be back. But I put the whole book in a blog. So people don't have to pay for it. You can just read it.
The Bakojo
Meditation. Bakojo Meditation.
Kojo Meditation. Getting it out there to you guys, family.
It's a blog site. It breaks it on down. It's a Tumblr. It's on Tumblr. And it's I just put the whole book.
Oh, wow.
When it came out of print, and I had students that wanted the book, but I didn't have any more prints of it, I just put it on a blog site maybe 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, so that they can just access it whenever they want.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Let's see if the family has anything to share. Saladin Muhammad says, meditation is a mental and spiritual cleansing.
Achei.
It's a form of letting go what we have no power to control in order for that law to work for us in life.
I agree, brother.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so everybody else is pretty much just watching. The how. So you said just commit yourself. You don't have to have a certain routine or special. I mean, do you recommend them do something? Okay, I'm committed. So I'm saying, okay.
Sit down, find a restful place. Find a quiet place.
Okay.
Some place that you can go to consistently. Find a place that you can go to every day. The same place, the same time.
Why is that important?
Consistency. You are training your body to do a particular thing.
I see.
You think?
Okay.
If you have children or something like that, it might be at 10 o'clock when they're sleeping. The house is calm. You might have cleaned the kitchen and got everything straight at that point, and you can commit to you now. You don't have any other obligations. I'm going to put a half hour into stillness. There's meditation chairs, there's pillows. I say find a comfortable position, whatever's comfortable for you. If you can sit with your legs folded, fine. If not, sit in a chair. Just don't go to sleep. Don't put yourself in a place where you will nod out, because this isn't about sleeping. Sleeping is later.
That was one of my questions too, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right, you just want to stay aware.
Okay.
And then start with breathing, deep breathing. Count your breaths. I do 10 in, 10 out when I begin with people. Breathe in the count of 10, hold for 4, breathe out on the count of 10, hold for 4. You know what I'm saying? And you're training your breath to be fluidic and rhythmic at the same time. The universe is in a rhythm. The pendulums swing on the same degree on both sides. We become imbalanced when our swing is off. Our wobble, I call it the wobble. You can see it, I can see it when a person is walking. They're not breathing correctly because their wobble is off. You dig what I'm saying? Their whole vibe is. But a person who is breathing correctly, they're fluidic. It's balanced. Their walk is balanced. Okay? And they might have a diddy bop with it or whatever, but it's balanced. You can tell. Okay? So you want to breathe. Practice relaxing. Go to the blog. I have audios that walk people through progressive muscle relaxation. If you've taken any African dance classes and they had the warm down where they say, relax your arms, relax your back, relax your legs, relax your toes, relax your fingers, do that.
That's what helps me.
That's progressive muscle relaxation.
Okay.
You know, the no self now is just, the way that I do it is just technical. It's more in depth. But if you just command yourself in the beginning, just relax, 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 relax. And now pay attention to your thoughts. Breathe, relax, and try to just witness. Don't qualify anything. And that's the hardest part. Because we'll follow a chain of thought and we'll have self-dialogue. We're justifying and judging ourselves because of whatever. You know what I mean? This conversation we're having within our head. You know, so the cultivation is you cultivate a witnessing situation where you can see it, but you don't speak on it. Allow it to just play itself out. That's how the thoughts move faster. They'll stay if you start to engage. Don't engage, witness it, and allow it to keep moving.
I love it. I love it. I hear Baba, another Baba here that's from Israel, and he talks to me every day, Kalaya, and he was sharing with me how he says that we are battling, our strongest battle is with our own minds. Mm-hmm. He said that the enemy is not anywhere out there that we're looking for. It's actually our minds. We are our own enemy.
Ashe.
And so when I'm hearing you talk, it sounds to me like when you what I'm saying, let it flow, let it go. It's like it's a battle with the mind over matter. Would that be accurate?
Yes, there's a duality in life. We live in a dualistic system. Light, dark, right, left, male, female. It's a dual nature. We live in a dualistic system. And there's a duality within us. We have our inner self and we have our higher self. That pure awareness that meditation brings us into, and Ifa, we call it Iponvi Tiawalorun, or our higher self, which is unseen or in heaven. And then we have our inner self. And these two cats is constantly at odds. So in creating a balance in them, we create a balance within ourselves. Our higher self is pushing us towards fate, towards destiny, trying to help us make the best choice that's going to get us to our destination. Our inner self wants to just be satisfied, just want to be happy.
Would that be the ego? Is that a proper term for the inner?
Those Freudian terminologies, I don't really like to dance with.
Okay.
The id, the ego, and all of that stuff is cool. I like to just say the higher self and the lower self, are our inner self.
Okay.
Because it's all ego when it all boils down to it. It's all ego. You know what I'm saying? Even the higher self has an ego. You know what I'm saying? He wants his way too. But he has a wider, more pure perspective than the inner self, who has a more narrow perspective. Restricted, exactly, perspective. So you really want to listen to the cat that has a broader perspective than that inner cat who's just seeing pleasure, pain, joy, habits, women, men, you know what I'm saying, has peculiar interest. You know what I'm saying, that it has found to be interesting. You know what I mean? Like, yes. I prefer this, I prefer that.
Yeah.
All of these preferences, and none of it really means anything. You know what I mean? Because your preference could be exactly what's holding you back from achieving what you were sent here to achieve.
Wow.
Change your preference. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a very narrow view that our inner self holds until it's augmented with its higher self perspective, or what we call the cosmic consciousness.
Because when I'm hearing you, I'm hearing that meditation will help you stay more focused into your higher self.
It's pure awareness. It's the practice of pure awareness. That's what meditation is. And pure awareness, because you can only be aware of you. I can't be aware of you or you. It's not my business to be aware of you. It's my business to be purely aware of my circumstance. I came here alone. I leave here alone. I'm only accountable for me. How I treat you, that's my obligation. You're my neighbor. We're twin souls because we all come from the same source. So how I treat you matters.
So trying to force somebody else to see things my way
is ridiculous. It's an exercise in futility. It shows that you have lack of knowledge of self. I counsel couples, and one of the main things is the need to be heard. You must understand how I see this.
Yeah.
You must understand this the thing. Why? Let that person understand it the way they need to understand it, not the way you want them to.
Yeah.
It's not your obligation to change another person.
Yeah.
And nor can you.
Right.
You can't evolve them just because you want them to evolve at this moment. They can only see it the way they see it.
I think that's a form of arrogance.
I agree.
When you are just forcefully attempting to make somebody else conform to what you think they should be, or how you think they should think. For me, I think that's just like a form of arrogance. It's like, why is my way better than everybody else's.
Right.
But I think Hanifa had something she wanted to share.
I'm behind the camera, I hope you guys can hear me. So I just walked in on this part of the conversation. So would you consider the focus, like if you look at the climate right now, the focus is really revolves a lot around race. So would you say as people of African descent, or just people in general, would you consider that maybe a distraction from what really matters?
Race?
Yes. As
far as ethnicity and color and stuff like that? Yeah. It always has been. Race was introduced on the set by Mad Men.
Yes.
A few hundred years ago. This concept of culture, race, it's that phenomena isn't indigenous in no way, shape, form, or fashion to the planet. So yes, it's a distraction. When Europeans came into this country, they were indentured servants too. The Irish came here, they were just like Africans, treated the same and everything. But they saw that the black and the white so-called people would come together and they can challenge the money people, that 1%. And they can create revolution and civil war. So they began to exercise this difference in race to keep the people separate. Now, we are physically different. I mean, there's no, we're different. Chinese, Asian people, different. People from Australia, different.
Right.
Dark skin, blue eyes, straight hair. They're different. Then a West African is different from an East African. You dig what I'm saying? So there's differences in humans. But the differences is like there's different flowers on the East Coast than it is on the West Coast too. There's a bush that won't grow over here that will grow over there.
True.
So the planet represent differences.
Yes.
So that's not a phenomena. That's nothing new. But the ideology of race has caused this dissension, in low vibration black and white.
Right.
The low vibration black, the low vibration white, they feed on that.
Yeah.
Because it makes them feel better. They get this supremacy idea, black supremacy and white supremacy idea. Like I've never taught my children supremacy. I just teach them that they gods. I don't have to teach them that they're supreme. I just teach them that they're gods and goddesses. So the whole idea of supremacy to me is to hold one person above another person. But my children have to believe that if they God, you is too. And so are you, and so are you, and so are you. We're all gods and goddesses in this realm, if that's what we choose to be. Or we're all slaves, if that's what we choose to be.
I specifically asked that question because of that. Even though I'm finding myself kind of going in the direction of focusing on our own divinity. And I feel like that supersedes everything else. It's a struggle. But the reason why I asked that is because you see nastiness on both sides. And I feel like you said, it's lower vibrational. And that's why I asked if it's a distraction, because oftentimes I'm going to speak like for our people, and I've mentioned this, I'll come up before, sometimes I see our people and they're so angry and they're so vile and hateful. And my question is always, what is your spiritual practice? What is it that's balancing you out? And oftentimes I struggle to find. The ones that I do find that have a spiritual practice usually are a little more mellow and easy to reason with. But those who are just focused on like race and they're trying to get us and the white man this, it's a frequency that I just feel like is just detrimental to their well-being.
It's a disconnect.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Something. Yeah. So that's why I asked that question.
And if we are taught that we are here to bring the good condition. Okay? Arula teaches us through Odu Ifa that we, the chosen people, the ones that are here, were sent here to create the good condition, and we'll continue to go back and forth from heaven to earth, keep reincarnating until we create that good condition. So they ask them, what is the good condition? Well, the good condition is happiness, is joy, is wisdom and knowledge enough, to understand the universal system, and it's being free of fear, anxiety, anger, depression. You have to be free of those things in order to create the good condition for yourself. So if they're walking around with paranoia, with anxiety, with anger, then they're creating the bad condition. They are contributing. Wow. They're not helping anything. I don't care how revolutionary they're coming.
Wow.
They're not helping us as a people because they're not helping to create the good condition.
Wow.
They're reinforcing the bad condition. And personally, I feel like that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants us to live in that bad condition because as long as we're in that bad condition, we can't focus and we can't come together and we can't begin to pull ourselves up out of this economic disparity, out of this health disparity, out of this psychological disparity that we're walking in that keeps us their slaves, or what the Matrix say, their batteries. Yeah. We keep the system fueled as long as we're walking in the bad condition. But if we create the good condition, we walk free of fear, free of anxiety, free of stress, free of depression, free of anger. We don't deal with that. That's for someone else. I don't deal in that.
Ashe.
You dig what I'm saying?
And that's why I don't get caught up all in the whole Trump rhetoric. Because I find myself, it's like the people who are so angry and anti-Trump, a lot of times you're using the same rhetoric against him that he's using against you.
Right.
So I'm like, like how my sister said, the energy level is the frequency is so low on both sides.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you building anything better or being a higher self and you're responding to his ignorance with ignorance?
Right.
The idea is I need to become you to defeat you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you're bad. Why do I want that for myself?
Right.
Why should I become you? Why should I become bad? And
right.
that's what's happening and we don't realize it. It's
right.
a trap. It's a trap.
That's it.
Yeah.
We feed it. We call him all kind of names. He got with the orange head, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
it's all childish.
Yeah. I'm like, how is that helping?
It's childish. And then they want to compare his administration to the Obama administration and all of this distractions. It's just it's a bunch of distractions. Right. And while they're doing all of that, there's something happening in the backdrop that no one's paying attention to.
And that's how they remain so powerful.
No one's paying
because
attention.
The invisible hand, so they, you know what I'm saying, they play, but you don't know where to take that anger and frustration out on, so you take it out on your brother and your sister.
Right.
Or the white man down the road or what have you, because...
Who they tell you is the enemy.
Yeah. It's deep.
Yeah.
Wow. Where can they get more information about you? Do you have a course that class that they can take?
They can. I do readings. I do seminars sometimes. I like to deal with people on an individual level.
Okay.
I don't consider myself a public person, even though I'm a servant to the people. I don't use social media the same way as a lot of people use social media. I'm not trying to generate 1,000 clients. I truly believe that those people that's supposed to be in front of me will be in front of me. Those people that are supposed to learn what I have to teach, they'll learn it. There's other teachers, so maybe they need someone else. But if they're in front of me, then they're supposed to get what I have to give until they get their full. Then they go on to someone else. So I don't, I give my number out, 240-486-5264. My email, thebakojocompany@gmail. Holla.
How about Facebook? Can they?
Abimelite Oguntola.
On Facebook. Okay.
Abimelite Oguntola. A-beam, A-light.
Oh, okay.
One word. A-beam, A-light.
Okay.
Oguntola.
Got it.
That's the Facebook. Like I said, you can call 240-486-5264. Set up a meeting, a reading. We can talk finances and time and things of that nature. I love doing weddings. If you're getting married, have references.
Okay.
I do counsel though first. Yeah, we have to make sure it's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it,
Okay. Love it. Well, family, that has been our Empower Hour. Thank you so much, Baba.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming in.
I've been waiting for that invitation. I was waiting for that invitation.
Thank you so much. Until next week, take care of each other out there, family. Peace.
Odabo.